welcome to An Old Man Watches. And we're going to be talking today about a 1978 film, an Italian-American co-production, Starcrash. Now, you may be noticing a kind of naming structure there that is quite similar to another 1970s science fiction property. It's not a coincidence. Starcrash is about a spacefaring smuggler named Stella Star, who, for reasons that are not necessarily particularly clear or convincing, is asked by the Emperor of the known universe to rescue his missing son from a dangerous planet. And in the course of this, she discovers that the evil Count Zarth-Arn has perfected a mega weapon with which he might be able to conquer the universe. And Stella and the prince and their robot sidekick and a bunch of other people have to try and stop this from happening. And so that in a nutshell is the pants on head craziness that is Starcrash. Because oh my god, this movie, it's amazing. So we're going to talk about the features of this movie, what makes me love it despite the fact that it's a bad movie, in any kind of sort of objective sense. And you might be looking at me and say, is that Christopher Plummer's name? Yep, that's Christopher Plummer's name there. He's in this movie. I guess he needed to make rent or something. So what's in this film that makes me love it? Well, first of all, the shameless theft. You probably already picked up on this. And it's an interesting juxtaposition to Phantom from Space, which I talked about last time. Because Phantom from Space, tries to steal from the day the Earth stood still, but it does so kind of in one scene right at the end without any kind of build-up to it and without any kind of payoff to it, and it just doesn't work. Starcrash, what doesn't it steal? You've got a protagonist... Stella Star, so she's got a star-themed name, she's a space-going smuggler, like a certain other character out of that other franchise. There's a quote unquote comical robot sidekick. She has a mentor figure who has psychic powers and a laser sword. There's a bad guy whose name is Zarth-Arn, which that first word sounds kind of similar to another word. Who's got an apocalyptic doomsday weapon on his space battle fortress, and the bad guys have to make a desperate attack against the space battle fortress to bring him down. This is not a movie that is shy about stealing stuff, and trust me, it doesn't just steal from one place. There's a whole bunch of other places it steals from too. So that's one of the things. I like the shamelessness. I like the fact that this is a movie that is making no bones about the zeitgeist that it's trying to tap into and is quite shameless about the whole thing. I think that actually works a lot better than the kind of wishy-washiness of Phantom from Space on the subject. The second thing is this movie is kind of... I debated using this term or using the term gonzo, but basically this movie just has this attitude of cool, like... Let's just turn the volume up to 11. Let's put it in. We got the kitchen sink. Let's throw it in there. This is a movie with space Amazons, with giant robots, with little robots, with space stations shaped like a hand that can curl into a fist in battle. That space station has windows that the good guys crash through, to make their attack. This is a bonkers movie. It's kind of like they got a 14-year-old and fed him or her a whole lot of sugar until they were bouncing off the walls, and then just made them do Mad Libs, and that's the plot. Probably right after they watched that other franchise. It's a movie with no sense of restraint, and I kind of love it for that. It is just a movie that doesn't know where the line is. Let alone, it doesn't even recognize the existence of a line beyond which it is going too far. It just keeps going. And Christopher Plummer, I'm not going to spoil it, but he utters what may be the most outrageous line in the history of in the history of cinema. And it's an outrageous line that makes a mockery of the entire 20 minutes of the film that just went before, because it's like, well, wait a second, hang on. If that was a thing you had, why did that thing just happen? No. Like, most of the movie makes no sense now, but fine, let's just go with it. It's not like the movie was making a whole lot of sense before that. This is not a movie where making sense is at all a priority, which is, kind of a thing in 70s Italian cinema, that making sense is not a priority. Style is a priority, and this is a movie with heaps of style of a certain kind, which brings me to the third thing that I love about this movie, which is that it's a disco party in space. You can see Stella's outfit. You can see the wacky robot behind her. This is a movie saturated in colour and chintzy sound and lava lamps in space kind of special effects. If you've ever seen the Flash Gordon movie with the Queen soundtrack, which is a favourite of mine, I love that movie. It's full of gaudy excess and massive and physical sets that are preposterous and saturated colours and just a complete lack of visual and auditory restraint. And this movie is the same way. It lacks a Queen soundtrack. It would be even better if it had one. But it does have a ridiculous soundtrack. It's very 70s. It has a very 70s visual style. It is very much a product of its time. It is a movie without any sense of discretion or restraint or taste, and it's a bad movie, but oh man, is it a good time? It sure is. If you've not seen it and you have any kind of appreciation for movies that are just going for it regardless of their actual ability to deliver on it, this is a movie you should see. So that's Starcrash. That's why I like Starcrash. That's why I think it's worth seeing. Next time, I'm going to talk about a movie that I don't think is worth seeing and why I don't think it's worth seeing. And that is a movie with what looks like kind of a cool title, which is Adventures of a Teenage Dragon Slayer. So we'll talk about why this movie doesn't work at all next time. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.